Yo guys, and welcome back towards this new video here on the channel, actually new stream here on the channel. On today's stream, I will be basically talk about a trade I opened earlier today. In my video, I announced that I was opening this trade, and right now I want to be talking about a few things right now over here. So, the S&P 500 is right now shaping up so beautifully, and this could give Bitcoin finally the room that we've been waiting for in order to see that movement towards the upside, right? So let me right away go in the stream. First of all, guys, give me 1 minute for me to share the stream on my socials. Discussing my next trades. So give me a second. I'm just quickly did you hit your stop loss? Yes, I did hit my stop loss on yesterday's trade, and also this morning I decided to open a new trade. So yeah, that's what currently is going down. Of course, yesterday, yeah, we got faked out from of this movement here, and Bitcoin, of course, stopped us out. But right away, once again, like you can see, it is moving back up towards higher regions. Basically, our entry from yesterday, but earlier today. Of course, like you can see, this trade is an approximately 8% profit, not all too big or something. But I opened this trade based off my video I uploaded earlier today, so you can still see that. If you want to be going back and towards that, yeah, you have to go back into our previous video. But it's not really necessarily so important to look at, because let me right now explain about why I am so excited about Bitcoin right now. So this is the chart of the S&P 500, and like we do know, the S&P 500 has been in a bear market, has been dragging all markets down, and right now we're forming a beautiful reversal pattern, because the S&P 500 right now, and this has been the big thing we've been waiting for, right? S&P 500 forms this beautiful W structure, basically a bottoming structure over here. And like you can see, it formed, of course, the double bottom on the market together with a W structure getting formed previously around provided support, previously around provided resistance. Right now, we're waiting for supportive touch from here. Like you can see, the 4-hourly time frame candle we're currently trading on is really getting that bounce here, and that has been the big important thing we've been waiting for. We're currently getting it, and that is extremely bullish for Bitcoin. Also, do note, guys, if I'm going to right now, let's say, first of all, I can draw, of course, this 4-hourly time frame. We could be looking for a potential bull flag scenario in the case also of this retest of this, clear W structure, right? So together with this, and if I'm going to zoom in a little bit more further on, and if I'm going to look at the 1-hour time frame, I'm going to select the high to the low here, and this is the S&P 500 here, guys. We can clearly see previous resistance got broken above here, and this is the S&P 500, and this is, of course, an extremely bullish breakout we're currently seeing here. And the reason that I'm right now a little bit more bullish on Bitcoin is due to the S&P 500 breaking bullish, and that is going to be allowing Bitcoin to potentially go towards the upside. So let me first of all talk about this chart. This is not a necessarily good looking chart here. I am going to take definitely some profits off the table as soon as we're going to reach 30.6k here. But yeah, like you can see, Bitcoin re-entered the channel, and in this case, I personally think, of course, in terms of risk to reward, it's smart to, of course, look at shorts at the higher region and, of course, longs at the lower region, because Bitcoin basically is back in our channel. This is the fundamental realistic analysis on Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is back in its channel, and what we right now should be doing actually is, of course, short the top, long the bottom again, because we're expecting that Bitcoin is actually going to come down again since we re-entered, right? And this was, of course, a clear big fake out. But in case, and guys, this is, of course, mixing things up here, S&P 500 breaking bullish together with this. Look at this. This is the dollar index. It is really plummeting right now. And I've once again also earlier today talked about this here already. The dollar index is forming a clear head and shoulders pattern. First of all, on the weekly time frame, we can see the dollar index came down pretty massively, right? You can see we came down from the higher region. We're really having a little bit of a harder time across the dollar index. And if we're really going to zoom in towards, let's say, the 6-hour time frame, you can clearly see right now what we're doing, right? So I will be quickly use this very interesting head and shoulders trading pattern. You can see here, left shoulder getting formed on the left side. Then, of course, we are forming a big head on the top side. We're coming down, of course, making another touch on the lower side over here and forming that right shoulder. So we are indeed looking to be forming somewhat of a head and shoulders pattern. This is, of course, a typical bearish bias, movement pattern towards the downside. And in case the dollar index is indeed going to be breaking down from here on, this will be leading towards massive continuations towards the upside for, once again, the equity market and crypto, because the equity market is already looking a little bit more stronger today. And I mean, yeah, I can look at this 1 hour breakthrough of this trend here. I could say, yeah, this is bullish. But more importantly, I really do care about this 4-hourly retest that is clearly showing we're bouncing from it. And I've been looking at the S&P 500, and a real big reason to only get a relief rally, because guys, we have not seen the relief rally yet here. This is not even close to be a relief rally. Look at this. We've been seeing a very, very minor move here. And on the 4-hourly time frame, like you can see, last time around, we saw a little bit of a reversal back towards the upside after creating a W pattern, right? We broke above it, retested it, and that was leading towards that continuation towards the upside. This was, of course, on March, basically the last run-up before Bitcoin really plummeted that hard towards the downside, right? And right now we're doing the same. We're forming that W pattern on the S&P 500. We're forming that neckline. We're retesting it. We're breaking above it, and we're going to shoot up again. I personally think, I am not a specialist on the stock market. I will guarantee you that here. But this is, of course, a very, very clear pattern. And I saw that many technical analysts on the stock market, big specialists, they're also talking about the same pattern. And I personally do have to believe right now that this is going to be potentially help Bitcoin to come up again here. And that is why, of course, earlier today, I did open still the position because I really want to get that swing back towards the upside. I want to be benefiting from this potential swing we're going to get here. Yes, there are going to be definitely some levels to look out for right now for Bitcoin. So, what we can look out for right here is this very strong range over here, right? So you can see clearly this provided very strong resistance in the past, also support, and that was why I was, of course, yesterday longing this target. Unfortunately, we got stopped out here, but right now, of course, like I told you in my earlier video today, I was once again opening a new position over here. This was, of course, so far a successful position. We are currently, not in a huge profit or whatsoever, only $250 US, and that's basically the loss that we made approximately yesterday. So, basically, right now we're trading break even compared to the trade we lost out yesterday. But how it works with trading is that you're not always going to win every single trade. You're going to look at the next risk to reward thing here, and for me right now, looking at this chart, the risk to reward for Bitcoin is, of course, if I purely look at this Bitcoin chart, I don't really think it's actually looking that good here. But it is really where I'm basing my opinion off is that S&P 500 chart, guys. It is a clear, well-known pattern. And also, look at this, guys. Look at this. I see another very interesting thing, right? We were trading below the 50 moving average, estimated moving average, like you can see here, right? Got rejected by the 50-day average moving average, estimated average moving average. I'm saying something completely irrelevant. So, estimated moving average, I should say. I'm trying to talk too quickly. But yeah, you can see we got rejected once here, twice, 3 times. Then we broke above it. We retested it as support, and we're bouncing off it right towards the upside. Look what the S&P 500 is doing right now in this case. So, we got rejected. We bounced from it towards the upside. We're once again having a retest, and we're bouncing from it. So, this is, of course, very bullish to see. Very beautiful to see as well. And this could be really the catalyst we've been waiting for, right? To drag potentially Bitcoin towards the upside. But let me go further in towards some other charts. Look at this. This is the 6-hour time frame. I could also, of course, discuss, Bitcoin on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, we're seeing literally the same thing here playing out. Bitcoin, of course, formed that falling wedge, right, on the daily time frame or 6-hour time frame, however, or on whatever time frame you want to be approaching it on. You can see we broke bullish. We are getting the retest right now, and the question remains: will Bitcoin bounce from it? So far, yes, we are bouncing from it for sure. And right now, it's just the game of waiting to see if it's actually going to be creating that bounce, right, from off this region. So I am actually thinking things are starting to shape up pretty well right now for Bitcoin. Everything is coming together, and it is starting to look like a very exciting period, and that is why I jumped live with you guys out there. Yesterday, of course, I jumped live on the breakdown of the diamond pattern. Of course, still congratulations for everyone who did trade that one towards the downside. I thought it was an absolutely beautiful trade towards the downside. Unfortunately, I have not shorted it like I told you yesterday, but I was looking to be catching that long position, but it looks to be that the bounce is happening a little bit lower from of this region over here. So, at the same time, guys, I want to be pointing out here is that accumulation is still skyrocketing. And for me, the long term, I don't really care about Bitcoin because I know in the long run it's going to be all right here. And actually, if I do look at this chart here, you can see that the Bitcoins are getting held by wallets that are holding more than 1 Bitcoin right now. Look at this. They are really absorbing this movement towards the downside right now. They are the ones that are really accumulating. So there's more these little bit not richer, let's say richer individuals, because if you can spend 30k on an asset, you're a little bit more on the richer side. You can clearly see they have been increasing their positions massively. They have been starting to really dollar cost average aggressively in this market. And of course, for every buyer, why does Rover always lie? I don't I'm a liar. That's pretty funny. Okay. But yeah, currently we can see number of addresses holding more than one Bitcoin are increasing massively right now. They are absorbing this movement towards the downside, and they are definitely accumulating. So for every seller, there's a buyer. So it's going to be definitely very interesting to see how it's going to be playing out. Low volume. Let me check up on the volume right now. Really depends on which exchange. I do want to be looking at the right exchange. This is FEMX, and this is not really approach to look at. Also, Binance is not appropriate because I do know the volume is over there also a little bit weird. So let me open a new chart actually to check up how the volume is currently looking. So let me enable the volume. Bitstamp is pretty alright. Actually, I don't want to be looking at Bitstamp. I want to be looking. Coinbase is also pretty alright, actually, the volume. Binance is always these weird spikes, right? So Binance is also really the retail side. So actually, if you look at Coinbase, you can really see once the big whales are loading in and of course distributing, because yeah, basically what we have in this case, I addressed it earlier today already. This on the top side was a bull trap. On the lower side, we were getting a bear trap. Basically, two very similar moves, of course. But yeah, on Coinbase, you can always see these high volume spikes. It's because basically Coinbase got these large whales trading on there. So that is also why you can right now see what is currently happening. I missed the streams. I've been in Colombia for a few months, and the difference is 6 hours. That's crazy. But Alex, welcome back towards the stream. How is Colombia? Let me know. More shorts. Yeah, there are still. Let me quickly check up on the ratio. How the ratio in the market is currently looking. So if we're going to look at the ratio, we can see. Whoa, this is not even. I've not checked it up here. We can see pretty significant negative funding right now in the market. You can clearly see. Funding is pretty negative, and of course, the funding rates have been not clearly giving us the right direction on the past months here, actually. Normally in the market, I mean, through whole 2020 and 2021 as well, it has been giving us a very clear way to think about the market, right? So always once the funding is negative, it means that there are more shorters on one side, and that there are not a lot of people willing to actually long this market, and that usually shows us a reversal. However, I've been using this strategy as well on the past, basically in this year, 2022. It has been not working, and it has been not proving to be so as reliable as in 2021 here. So I will be definitely go with the funding rates right now. And we'll be saying, yes, it's important to look at. We can clearly see there's more shorting leverage in the market right now. But yeah, take it once again still with a grain of salt. But this is, of course, indeed a bullish signal in the market. We are seeing too many bears right now trading this market and really trying to catch the shorting positions. And guys, it's going to be actually pretty interesting. If we are, once again, guys, if we're going to see the S&P, look at the S&P going. It's crazy, guys. I told you, I warned you about it. This is going to be allowing Bitcoin to create potentially a short squeeze over here. So let me explain what I think is going to be happening, right? S&P 500 breaks bullish here. First of all, this downtrend, but also just purely of this 4-hour trend, right? This 4-hour trend is getting bounced from. And since we're seeing so negative funding in the market, since the sentiment is so negative for Bitcoin, once Bitcoin is going to reverse, it's going to reverse in a very big candle. It's going to create a massive short squeeze, right? That is what's going to happen. That's going to be a fact. If Bitcoin is going to be creating that move up, it's probably going to be a very fast one because, yeah, we're seeing that very negative sentiment. And right now, since we can clearly see there are more shorters in the market, that's the funding rate telling us that. In this case, we can clearly see, okay, maybe those shorters are actually loading up on their shorting positions from of this region over here, right? Because this is the actual region to be opening your shorting position of. 30.4K is definitely the resistance range. You can already see that on the past 1-hour candles, Bitcoin got rejected by this level, and it will be only make more sense to actually see a rejection from of this range, right? So yeah, let's see what's going to be happening. But of course, if many shorting positions are going to get loaded up over here, there could be a possibility for a short squeeze, right? If the S&P 500 really continues its way further towards the upside. Do you think we're in a bear bull market? What do you think? I think we're in a massive reaccumulation. I mean, I can call it a bear market, but bear markets, people have a very big misconception of a bear market. I mean, I've called this market a bear market, and then people say, oh, so you think Bitcoin is not going to go up for the coming 3 years? No, because if you don't know already, there are certain bear markets that only last for, again, let's say 60 days or 90 days. Historically speaking, across the S&P 500, there have been a bear market from 30 days even. So pretty crazy what we are currently having here. But yeah, Is Bitcoin in bear market? This is of course no doubt. After seeing this chart, yes, we are in a bear market. So the question right now is really what is going to be happening next year, and will you be benefiting from the bearish market? That is the big question we should be asking ourselves, right? I'm currently going to be not stopping loading up here. That is definitely the thing and the way to go for, at least for my strategy over here. So in this case, I will be just buy, of course, with my hodl position every single day, more and more Bitcoin to load up for the next big run up, because we do know that Bitcoin trends up with time, and time is in this case on our side since we're in a bearish market. I don't necessarily agree that Bitcoin has to go much more lower, because I personally think that 30K is definitely that floor. Of course, yeah. We can go down to 27K, we can go down to 28K, but I personally really think that that 27.5K to 30K is the floor base for Bitcoin. And actually, after seeing this strength already returning in towards the market, we're still forming an uptrend, right, on this market. If you just purely do very blind analysis, right, you're not going to look at this previous price action over here for Bitcoin. You can see it formed a low in the market, formed a higher high on the market than the previous highs over here, and right now it's also forming a higher low, right? So if Bitcoin in fact is going to create a movement towards the upside from here on, let's say it's going to form a higher high than the previous high over here, is going to be trading, let's say, somewhere around 34, 33.5K or something like this. This is going to be a very bullish structure where we're going to create from off that point, right? If this is going to be happening. Once again, this is a very stupid speculation, what I'm currently doing. But if this happens from here on, Bitcoin is going to be looking very bullish, because it's basically, in fact, forming a higher high on the market and then higher low. So take in consideration that Bitcoin is not necessarily extremely bearish right now, even though I personally think, yeah, we are trying to be once again retest this high of this range, and this has been a clear rejection zone for Bitcoin. But take in consideration that Bitcoin is still also forming that higher low in the 4-hourly time frame, right? So as long as we're holding up towards that, it's going to be pretty exciting to see. And more importantly, what I'm really focused on right now is the S&P 500, because guys, look at how Bitcoin is decoupling from the S&P 500 in a negative way. So far, my prediction on the S&P 500 has been playing out perfectly, but the only thing we need right now is Bitcoin to follow, and Bitcoin is following in a way too slow pace. And usually if that happens, Bitcoin tends to be following faster in the coming weeks, or sorry, the coming days, hours afterwards. So right now the S&P 500 is climbing up very quickly, and we want to be seeing Bitcoin following that, right? So so far there's not a lot of follow through getting created from Bitcoin. Like you can see, this is the 5-minute chart on the S&P, but Bitcoin is of course not really creating similar moves, right? You can see clearly it's losing strength here. It's not forming higher highs, while the S&P is clearly doing that. So the reason why I'm right now, of course, definitely that little bit more bullish on Bitcoin is due to the S&P 500, and I personally do believe we are going to get that follow through getting created here. So hopefully we're not going to once again see a divergence where the S&P 500 is moving up and Bitcoin moving down, because that's definitely going to be very bad for Bitcoin again. And yeah, let's see how it's going to be playing out. We just have to wait and see how it goes. So where's all this buying going to be coming from? First of all, there is so much freaking tether in the market right now that's not getting used to get deployed to the market. Second of all, we're going to see just big buyers stepping in, just like they're doing on the US 500. But more importantly, look at the USD tether dominance, right? This is absolutely pretty crazy. This is a clear indication we have a lot of room to grow here. And historically speaking, if I just go to the daily time frame, and if I'm going to overlay the Bitcoin chart here, I've done this several times in the past here. If the US tether dominance is trading high, it means that the risk of buying Bitcoin is low, because the USD tether dominance is trading so high, it means, oh wait, once again my camera. Let me quickly fix my camera, guys. Yes, I am back again. But what I was trying to be pointing out over here is that, yeah, my camera is fixed. So once, historically speaking, the US tether dominance is trading so high, it means basically that a lot of the Bitcoin supply was getting swapped back into USD tether. But of course, if the US tether dominance is so high, it means that there's a lot of potential cash flow that can flow in towards the market very easily. So in this case, we've got a lot of tether on the sidelines waiting to jump in towards the market. And of course, as well, if I'm just quickly going to be addressing the USDC point dominance, you can also see the USDC dominance is also extremely high on 4.2%. So it's really coming close towards that. Yeah, USD tether dominance high as well here, but basically always on these market market lows here, you see the dominance spiking towards the upside. People are swapping their Bitcoin back for stables. And that is why also, if there's going to be a run up here towards the upside, there's going to be there's going to be a lot of FOMO, of course, in this market, and that will be driving the dominance lower. So there's a lot of capital actually on the sidelines waiting to enter this market, and could be actually entering right now. So that is a thing to take in consideration right here, a thing that I want to be pointing out here. And of course, in hindsight, you're always going to be too late here, because in hindsight, you're going to think, oh, I wish I entered. It was so obvious, because that's always the same thing that happens all over again. Every single time we have the same story, right? So that is basically my reason. There's a lot of capital waiting to still enter this market. There's definitely no problems with cash in the market here. Michael Saylor buys Ethereum under 1900. I bet we don't see 1700. Did he publicly announce that he was buying Ethereum on 1700? I was not aware about that. Actually, that's pretty cool if he did so. That's pretty cool. I'm quickly checking up all the news articles right here if I do see something coming up here, but. Yeah, if Michael Saylor bought some Ethereum, yeah, he's an absolute legend, of course, already. We know it, but that's pretty cool. I don't really see anything that quickly. Let me go back to the chat here, see what you guys are saying. But yeah, of course, we're currently looking at the most important region to break. And like you can see, we're clearing resistance right now. USD Tether dominance is nearly the fair ingredient. Indeed, I mean it's a comparison. You can basically say, if we're going to look at the USD Tether compared to USD Tether dominance chart, basically what this chart is telling us is that once the fear is high in the market, people swap their big. And you know what is the most funniest is that these extreme highs in the dominance for the stablecoins always occur once the market is at its absolute lowest. So that is pretty just fun to be pointing out right here. And of course, on the all-time high run up here, you can see this was a fresh capital flow in, right? Also over here, this is fresh capital flowing in. Dominance stays fairly the same, right? So pretty interesting. Rover, will LTO if chart? Will buy LTO if chart is like that? LTO. I don't know. I've never heard about this coin. Will buy this? No, he won't. He probably won't buy this. Why? Is because it's taking too big of a hit here. I don't know what the project is doing, but this not will be probably buying towards. You can see it's really dying off right here. So no, I don't really think he's going to be buying in towards that. And actually, if you are interested in buying towards this, I think it's too big of a risk, bro. I think the risk is too high. But look at the S&P 500 going, guys. Bitcoin really has to follow right now here. Bitcoin has to be benefit from this opportunity it currently has here. So I don't know about this coin, but I wouldn't be buying it right here. Did you think? I think June is going to probably be pretty good for Bitcoin, and I actually think that the coming hours are going to be very exciting for Bitcoin. It's pretty obvious. More people into cash than risk. I mean, true. There's indeed a lot of risk here, but yeah, they are still unstable. So the theory, what is behind it, what I'm trying to be pointing out here, is that once the money is in stables, it means that there is a very, very high likelihood that there's still interest on buying this in towards this market. And that's why we're going to get a rally towards the upside right now here. The people that are actually holding USD Tether and USDC are the most likely the first ones that are going to be FOMOing back in towards the market. So if there's going to be a rally, those are the ones that are going to FOMO in. And of course, that's in the end of the day what the whales want here. And talking about whales, guys, I mean, I don't have to be pointing it out every single day here, but apparently I do still have to do it because people are extremely afraid in this market. But while you may have been selling, in fact, there are whales buying up your Bitcoin. And in fact, we're currently seeing over the past 2 weeks one of the most largest inflows of Bitcoin whales across the market, guys. We have been seeing, just look at this chart here, a massive increasement. And let me pick it, set it on dark mode because I really like that a little bit more here. But look at this, guys. We've been seeing one of the most craziest rallies in terms of Bitcoin whales entering the market. You can see they have been really stepping in here on this market movement towards the downside. And in fact, if you have been selling your Bitcoin below 30K or basically in the past 2 weeks here, you have been in fact selling to whales. And you can't literally deny that because the proof is in front of your screen right now here. So pretty crazy to take in consideration that whales have been stepping in so massively in this market. And this is of course going to be having a huge effect on the market eventually, because if we're going to look back at at previous bear markets, let's say 2018, of course, first of all, we had the big drop here. We didn't saw it here, so this drop was not caused by wheels or whatsoever, but in that case it was. But right now, once again as well, in the bear market, we also saw wheels loading up in that first phase there, and then they were starting to distribute again. But like you can see, we saw the wheels loading up over here, and we're seeing it again here in bear market territory, in the lows of the lows in the market, right? And usually you don't really see usually you don't really see these wheels loading up so massively, but now we can clearly see that. So take this in consideration, guys, here. But look at the S&P 500 go. It's absolutely flying. The S&P 500 is absolutely flying, and the thing we're waiting for is Bitcoin to follow up. So the reason I also went live here is because I really saw the S&P 500 going pretty wild here. It's up 1.2% here, and that's actually a pretty significant increasement if you would ask me here, right? So if this 4-hourly candle can also close like this, it is also going to confirm a 4-hourly breakout, and that's going to be even probably going to create more volatility, and that's going to be definitely very bullish for this market. So let's see what we're going to have. Bitcoin is not going to break out so easily, but considering the fact of the follow through it creates from the S&P 500, and usually once the S&P 500 moves up 5%, Bitcoin moves up 10%, and also the other way around. This is my reason why I personally think there is going to be a continuation. I long Bitcoin on 29.4k. Will there be a dump? I mean, I long Bitcoin on 29.9k, and my stop loss is in profit. So one thing I definitely should suggest to do to everyone out there is, as soon as your trade is in a significant profit, this is not a very big significant profit, but once it is in a profit, I should just set your stop loss towards profit, so you definitely have no risk on riding the trade. And in my opinion as well, if we just see the S&P continue further on towards the upside, I will take it, and I will be trying to ride it. In case the S&P 500 comes down, Bitcoin gets dragged down as well, I will be just exit my trade in profit. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one to be approaching this. Entry point for Bitcoin long here. I mean, currently, first of all, guys, for anyone who is interested in trading, you can check out the links in the description here. You are getting a 0% maker fee, so 0% fees for the coming 30 days if you do sign up with the link in the description here on Bybit. And of course, also other very cool big deposits bonus in the description. Also, guys, follow me on Twitter and my Telegram group for live updates. So where to long? I think it's pretty risky to long right now, because you're actually at a shorting range. This is the resistance box that we want to be seeing Bitcoin breaking above, of course. I personally think there is a very big possibility for a break above, and like I told you, if it's going to be happening, and that's also the reason why I'm live right now, guys. I'm here live with you guys to monitor this, because I personally think we are going to be moved massively. We're about to create one crazy candle, and once again, I'm saying this because I'm just seeing this breakout of the S&P 500, this bounce here. This can be the catalyst that's going to be cause Bitcoin to be spiking and sparkling back up, right? So yeah, we are trading at major resistance. I am not suggesting to take any long positions over here, because this is not smart to open a long at resistance. That's definitely one of the most irresponsible things to do here. So yeah, I guess you have to sit this one out here. And maybe even if we break above the 30.6k, you could be looking for a retest of this range again here to potentially trade it afterwards then. Are we still heading towards 100k this year? Depends. I personally think there's still going to be good ending to the year for Bitcoin. I really think that Bitcoin year to date, if we're going to look at the 365-day candle, so year to date, we are of course 46k. I think we can close it green here actually. Year to date, I think Bitcoin is still going to close green. So I personally think that the end of the year, the yearly candle for Bitcoin is going to get closed above $48,000. So that's an approximately 50 or 60% increasement from here on to the end of the year. Six months still ahead of ourselves. Why do I think that? Is because first of all, we know the Federal Reserve in terms of the tightening of the tightening of the balance sheet. They are very well known for only doing that for a very short period of time, and then they're just going to extend because the it's basically falling down massively, and they want to always avoid those big crashes. So I wouldn't be surprised to really see the Fed calm down here near the end of the year, and that's going to be causing a lot of optimism on the market. Also, like in cryptocurrency, like in the cryptocurrency space, people are extremely overstressed, overreacting. The market is, in my opinion, overreacting. And that's why I also think as soon as the Federal Reserve is going to calm down, guys, we're going to get one of the most craziest bounce we've probably ever experienced. And it's going to be quick. It's going to be quick, and it's going to be fast, and it's going to be fun. So, yeah, that's what I'm really expecting. I'm expecting a positive Q4, especially Q3. I personally think it's going to be pretty boring. Usually just June and July are so freaking boring, historically speaking, on the market. So I wouldn't be surprised to once again see a very boring few months right now. Very, very boring 2 months in the market, where Bitcoin is potentially just going to be ranging between the 30K and 45K. Just between those ranges, and very boring slow moves up and down here. So yeah, I guess we have to wait and see how it's going to be playing out here. But in the end of the day, if we're going to just look back at the data we have here, it's more likely to expect that we are going to have a very boring 3 months ahead of ourselves. What color? Crazy candle. I think it's going to be crazy green candle, because yeah, we are currently still seeing that that continuation getting formed here on the S&P. Like it's still moving up like crazy. Whoa, look at also this 1 hour downtrend getting broken. Pretty decent breakthrough. What do you mean with that? BlackRock will take the Fear and Green index of the skeleton. Bear flag 1 hour. Let me quickly check up on that. I mean, yeah, we could be approaching it like a bear flag, but yeah, I mean, if we do break above this range high here, I personally think that is going to be necessary, or breaking the range low is also going to be important. So we're going to be witnessing this. How much percent are you down? I mean, I'm down like, I did sold a little bit here, but not too much here. I mean, I wish I sold a little bit more of my Bitcoin on the top side and diversified my portfolio. I also bought like some assets, some real life things that are actually worth money on the all-time high. There's also I'm not even taking into account here, but in terms of my crypto portfolio, from all-time high to now, I lost about more than about 50% here. A little bit less, maybe 48 or something, because I also made some money. But yeah, of course, considering we were trading on 69K, it's alright. But once again, guys, I don't really feel so bad. Of course, would have been better to, of course, always exactly sell the top, exactly sell the bottom. But at the end of the day, I'm here also for the long run here. I don't really care about, I mean, I do care a little bit about it, but it is part of the game. It's part of the journey to make money, lose money, and make more money off it eventually. So yeah, I did lost a lot of my wealth here in the downtrend, but also is allowing me an opportunity to be, of course, accumulate more on the lower side. Do you have an Ethereum position right now? I don't have an Ethereum position. I've been really scaling in towards the Ethereum massively, especially since the merge is coming up here. And it has been struggling a little bit here. And the reason why Ethereum is struggling right now is pretty simple. They are still having issues with their network. And guys, I told you, I warned you freaking hard about this stupid cryptocurrency called Solana. And people are still hating for me that I called out Solana so massively. And I even... look at this, guys. It has been coming down more and more and more, and it is, yes, creating some bullish divergence. But the project, I'm talking about the project. The price is reflecting how good the project actually is here. And I always told you guys, this project is shit. And of course, I told you guys on the top side, I got a lot of hate from a lot of people. I always was like, everyone kept on asking me on all the streams, check Solana. And I always said, I don't like Solana. Solana is not the Ethereum killer. I always said those things here. And I've been holding Solana. I sold it at 120, 130. And people called me crazy for it. But at the end of the day, I'm still way above the price right now here. So I am not a big fan of Solana, because it's basically, it's not, of course, maybe it's a scalable network, but it's not a safe network. Network is not good here. It's not reliable. The chain, of course, like what we do know is that the chain got... halted. Yeah, the chain got halted, and that's like the second time already this month here. That is also the reason why we're coming down so massively. Personally, if you really want to go for a good long-term investment, yeah, Solana could be seeing some minor bounces. It could be make you very good profits. But in fact, I don't really think that Solana is the best team. Also, I spoke towards some people that actually worked at Solana, and they were, I mean, I'm not even allowed to maybe say this, but they were also not that happy or something about the project, and I didn't hear that many exciting things that were coming up for Solana. So no, I don't know. They're always working, of course. There's a big team behind it, but I'm just not a big fan of Solana, and I've never been a big fan of Solana, because every single time, every single bull run, you see these projects coming up here that are potentially Ethereum killers, and then they get wrecked. And of course, maybe they say Cardano is not scalable whatsoever, but at least the Cardano network is not getting halted every single week here. And Cardano is actually doing a pretty good job here. If we do compare it, of course, not that good, but it is doing a little bit of a better job at least than Solana. And I personally think if you really want to be buying an Ethereum potential killer, I would rather go with Cardano than Solana. Of course, Cardano got a lot of side products that are also going to come out here. And I personally think that Cardano still is a very good investment. I personally think that if you're going to say, okay, Cardano can hit, let's say, what is it, $10 within 4 years from now on, it is very likely to hit the target. And it's going to be a 20x. It's still particular big, guys, at $10 from here on. So, yeah, I rather would like to be investing my money into Cardano than... than Solana in this case. I'm sure you love Shiba Inu. No, I'm not a fan of it. I do hold a little bit of it for fun. I hold absolutely a little. I mean, I told everyone as well over here that I was not bullish on it, and then it moved up, and everyone said, I told you have to buy Shiba Inu. And then it went down and down. So yeah, this is not my favorite coin. Shiba Inu, we do know. You know what I think about it. It's shit. It's probably not going to perform that well, and it is very good that meme coins are coming down so hard, because meme coins don't deserve such high of a spotlight, of course. Dogecoin also, guys. Is this weird that Dogecoin is coming down so hard? It's already down approximately, let me see. Dogecoin is approximately down 90% from its all-time high. Is this weird? No. This is completely logic to have. This is a logic consequence if you're going to be buying a shit coin, a coin, a meme coin. If you're going to be buying it, this is your consequence, and this is the price you pay. Of course, it's right now trading on very important support. Will it fall below it? Depends on Bitcoin, guys. So if Bitcoin does decide to be breaking down, I am very sure that Dogecoin is going to be actually following this chart very, very well. So let me quickly see. Let me see. Some people talk about Bitcoin dropping to 9K. What do you think? I mean, in order for Bitcoin to come down to 9K, first of all, there have to be a lot of people that are actually not willing to be buying Bitcoin the way down to 30K. And second of all, what is going to be very important to take into account if this is going to be happening, in order for Bitcoin to go down to 9K, there have to be actually people selling Bitcoin all the way down to 9K. Do you really think that there is someone out there that is actually going to sell their Bitcoin for 9.1K? I mean, man, I am not going to be the one that is going to be selling my Bitcoin anywhere below 40K. No way. You're not convincing me to sell Bitcoin. I mean, not below 35K. Because, yeah, with my trades, I will be, I'm sorry, with some things I will have to do, because I also have to do a lot of payment stuff. I will have to probably, like, do some stuff on 35K here. But no, below 40K I'm not selling. Below 30K I'm not selling. No, it's not going to be happening. And I don't really think there are going to be many other people that are actually going to sell their Bitcoin below 30K. And I personally think that this is a region where there's, of course, a lot of fear. And it is pretty funny, because every single time once we are at the bottom, people keep on calling for these lower targets. And you know, it's funny. I've been pointing it out already. If I go towards this chart here, I remove the drawings. I'm going to look at this chart, and I'm just purely going to look at all the levels Bitcoin has been basically formed the bottom at. And all those levels that Bitcoin formed the bottom at has been on this RSI level over here, right? So bottom number 1 getting formed over here, bottom number 2 getting formed over here, and bottom number 3 getting formed over here. So 3 bottoms getting formed in the market. And you know what these 3 bottoms have in common? Yeah, you're probably going to say they're all bouncing from off the same RSI line, but they also have another thing in common. And at every single time that Bitcoin was trading over there, being bullish was not the most popular opinion. Second of all, if you were calling, if you were making anything on YouTube, or if you were doing anything on social media at that point, you saw that everyone was screaming for a 50% correction. Like in this case, everyone's calling for 15K or 9K Bitcoin. At that point, they were calling for a $100 Bitcoin or even a $500 Bitcoin. So it is always the same here. So I don't really like look at these stupid calls about stupid targets on the lower side, and you just have to think about who is actually going to sell their Bitcoin for 9.1k. Is anyone here down to sell your Bitcoin for $9,000? Let me know in the chat here. Are you down for doing it actually? BlackRock will sell. I mean, then I guess we have to liquidate them if they're so short. And of course, yeah, that's not. So be prepared. Everything is possible. Loads of people sold under 4K on the pandemic event, not even in a recession. But once again, guys, yeah, that happened at that point. But once people sold on 4K, they have not seen all-time highs in what is it, 2.5 years or something. And second of all, Bitcoin has never been forming a new high at that point here. So these are definitely different structures. And also, guys, considering the pandemic crash here, the pandemic crash was, of course, a crash of an approximately 44% from high to low here. And this is, of course, in this case, already 63% from high to low. And I think it was a little bit more, actually, the pandemic crash. Oh, yeah, it was 63%. And in this case, let me see how much it is from high to low. I just forgot it. I just said to you guys. Also 63. So similar corrections, exactly the same. Historically speaking, Bitcoin has been not really forming more significant corrections than this actually. So if I look at the market, and also guys, look at this uptrend. This is my favorite uptrend to look at right now here. You can see this line over here getting formed is a pretty crazy trend line that we're currently looking at. Crazy trend line getting formed on the market. This trend line basically, of course, Bitcoin bounced from off this trend line several times before, like you can see over here, right? Bitcoin, sorry, I want to be drawing it correctly. It's like this. Yeah, it's like this. So yeah, you can clearly see, if I'm going to zoom in towards the chart here, you can see bounce, 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 bounce. And basically, if you just exclude the pandemic crash here, you can see that this has been a pretty strong range here. You have to disclude this here. This is, of course, not appropriate because this is a black swan event. And actually, this is also a black swan event. And of course, there are different opinions about it, but we can have an argument about that. But yeah, you can clearly see bounce, 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 bounce. And once again, bounce over here as well. So yeah, I would definitely say these are very interesting levels to look at. And on the bigger picture, guys, if you're really in doubt here, go to the monthly time frame. Zoom out here and let me go towards this chart over here. First of all, let me talk about this fractal over here on the market, right? So this fractal analysis is also pretty cool here. I actually like this fractal quite a lot here, so I will be remove it to show you something else in a second from now on. But yeah, well, what I want to be talking about is this blue range correction wave. Correction wave. How do these correction waves basically behave themselves? So first of all, let me make this a little bit more thicker. So guys, look at this yellow line first of all. This yellow line is basically a trend Bitcoin has been basic in for literally the past approximately 1,070 days. We have been holding on towards this trend. Do I think we're going to be breaking this trend? No, I don't think it's likely. So what basically happens that the lower side we're bouncing from off, we already got the touch on the lower side, right? So that's the B touch. And also every single time we bounce from the lower side, it's usually the second correction wave we are in, right? So here, first correction wave, move up again, second correction wave. So 1, 2, like you can see over there, right? As well over here in the bear market, first correction wave, second correction wave, 1, 2. As well over here in the 2019 correction, first correction wave, move up, second correction wave here, 2 getting formed. Then you get that exponential rally towards the upside again here towards the higher regions of this target. And actually, if we're going to look at targets right now that are going to be reachable, that we have to be reached at least here, it's going to be somewhere around 200k, 220k, and actually 200k. Is it weird to reach 200k? If Bitcoin is going to reach the same market cap as gold, it's going to reach $670,000 US. So being 1/3 of gold is not so weird, and that's going to be 250k approximately. Could be happening in the coming 4 years, in the coming 2 years from now on. Could be just happening around the corner. So pretty interesting chart here, but more importantly, guys, I want to be pointing out, if you're actually in fear right now, what am I going to do? I'm going to start zoom out here, guys. First of all, look at this chart. Bitcoin, buy it for the long term. Buy it for the long term. You can see there's a period of red. We have been really in this red period, right? Like you can see over here. This has been a clear correction wave. Correction wave. Correction wave. Correction wave. And once again, this is actually the whole time we've been in a correction wave. Correction wave. There is going to be green following. It's just a matter of when. But more importantly, guys, you always want to be looking at the super patterns, actually, at the long-term consolidation phases. So you can see over here, Bitcoin here back in 2000 what is it? 2013 formed this massive symmetrical triangle, broke out bullish. Then over here as well, we formed this massive symmetrical triangle. We broke bullish out of it. Then here in 2017, 2017, 2018 formed this massive symmetrical triangle. Let me zoom in a little bit more here to make it a little bit more clear. And we also broke out bullish. We also broke out bullish of this pattern. Can't you see the trend getting emerged right now in the market? It's absolutely pretty crazy if you would ask me here. Symmetrical triangle, bullish breakout, symmetrical triangle, bullish breakout. Bitcoin on larger time frames always move bullish. And actually the pattern we're currently forming is pretty obvious. Bitcoin forms this downtrend over here. Forms a downward sloping support line. It is currently forming a clear falling wedge pattern. And look also at every single time that on the monthly time frame. This is a very sharp one, sharp symmetrical triangle, less sharp, even less sharp, and right now it's a falling wedge. Falling wedge is a very typical pattern that Bitcoin tends to create in the market. The falling wedge is also a typical bullish bias pattern here on the market, and of course in this case, if we're going to be breaking bullish, we're going to have a price target somewhere around 70k here. I mean, you can wait another, let me see, I mean, imagine selling at 4k and 6 months later it hit 60k, that's pretty crazy, if you did that. But guys, more the moral of the story that I'm trying to tell here. Zoom out towards the mega pattern. Bitcoin can move up, come down, can move up, come down. Tomorrow it can trade on 40k. Tomorrow it can trade maybe on 32k or something. Tomorrow it could also trade on 28k. But is it going to be changing on my long-term view? No, it's not going to change up my long-term view, especially if I also look at this pattern over here, right? So I personally think that this is a pattern to really take in consideration right now. I think it's a very serious one. We should definitely take very serious. The point I'm trying to be making here, we are at low risk stages. We look at the RSI, guys. This is the weekly RSI. We're trading at levels where I like to accumulate massively, alright? I mean, maybe you don't like to accumulate on low levels where the risk is low. It's definitely a possibility. But just if we're looking back at the every single time you bought in towards these lower stages of the weekly RSI, you always bought a bear market low. Look at this. Bitcoin traded on $2 and was trading almost in oversold territory on the weekly time frame. Were you buying it? I don't know. I was not buying it at that point because I was probably still doing something stupid. Probably gaming or something. I was way too young at that point. Right now, I do have the opportunity to pay attention towards the market, and I just can't get it off my chest to benefit from this market right now. So yeah, once again, guys, I mean, I can zoom out as much as I want here. I can tell it so as much as I want, but there is going to be one turning point. And I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to be next month. I don't know. But Bitcoin is low risk. And it is probably not going to go much lower than this point. And Bitcoin is trading on very strong key levels of support. It is looking very exciting. I should approach on the 2-week time frame, actually, yeah. And this is just an extreme big support. And also look at this green line in the middle. Let me make this line very, very thick here for you guys to clearly see. This is the 2-week time frame. Bitcoin is trading on it. It's low risk right now. I mean, I can't make it any more clear than this. Bitcoin is at a low risk stage here. Yeah, it will be beautiful to see an increasement today, but will it really change my... it will be beautiful to see an increasement today, but if we're going to really fall down today, is it going to change up my my thoughts? No. So yeah, let's just wait patiently for that. So yeah, S&P 500 still breaking out here and continuing the way towards the upside right here. Still really waiting to get that follow through on the chart here. So Bitcoin is really, like you can see over here, is really squeezing the price action in, right? So it's the price action getting squeezed in here, somewhat like a diamond pattern once again getting formed here. That is actually pretty interesting to see, right? So the price action is getting squeezed in. Let me quickly... oh no, I want to be removing all the drawings. And quickly set up some clear drawings, right? So what we're currently really looking for is somewhat of a diamond pattern here on the 5-minute time frame. Of course, not all too serious, guys. 5-minute time frame, but this is definitely in consolidation phase. What we're currently seeing, definitely in consolidation phase, we're currently seeing here. So this is pretty interesting, and of course, like we are talking about, we are waiting for that continuation to get created. The S&P clearly breaking out bullish. And right now we're only 1 hour away before closing the 4-hourly candle to confirm the breakout over there. But 1 hour candle already confirmed the breakout on the S&P 500. And we're really waiting for Bitcoin to follow up right now. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how it's going to be playing out. Yeah, clear. Indeed, pretty. By 2030, you will own nothing. World Economic Forum. I know. And that is very scary. That I think that's very, and that is also the issue we're currently having, right? People are like from my age, you can't buy a house anymore. Why? Is because that's also a part of the way how it goes right now in the system, right? And eventually, there's people that are holding a house are going to die, and you're not going to be affording a house anymore because house prices are skyrocketing. So what is happening? People that can't afford a house right now, they're looking to invest their money because they're looking to find out ways to make actual money, right? That's why these markets are also so booming, because people are stepping in and of course waking up. And yeah, probably in 2030 you will indeed own nothing and be happy, they say, but I don't think so. I won't be happy. I will be probably not even motivated if I can't own anything. If I can't buy a house, why am I working? What am I working for? It's terrible. So yeah, they are looking for a whole different world than the most of other people are actually looking for. And I think probably many people that are also investing in crypto do share the same opinion about yeah, what kind of a shithole and they are making from it right now. So pretty shit. So yeah, let's see. The housing market will come back down. It's already leveling off. It's only down 1% on the US. It's like nothing special, actually. People are getting more fearful in the housing market. Yeah, maybe they are getting fearful, but still, there's at least in some countries it's not going to come down. Maybe the US is going to come down a little bit here, but not in all the places in the US. Like New York is not going to come down. Amsterdam in the Netherlands is not going to come down. Why? Is because there's so high demand. I mean, and that is the problem. The demand is too high for the capacity we currently have. So probably I don't really think that real estate in these big places like Amsterdam is really going to come down that much. Actually, I don't really see that happening. So what's happening with you guys? So 45k possible. I don't really think is likely to happen this month here, but we just have to see. Okay, check out the bearish divergence on daily time frame. I think we already discussed that here, actually, but I can go over it again. So let me get to a daily chart for Bitcoin. So no, it's not. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we formed a hidden bearish divergence. Sorry, yeah, and had a regular bearish divergence indeed. We discussed it yesterday. This one, and of course we have seen these several times before in the market, right? But also taking consideration we're still having a bullish one on the lower side. So bullish and bearish divergence getting formed at the same time. So indeed, yeah, we're forming a clear hidden bearish divergence in this case, but also that was the talking point from people in the last time around, right? Here as well, from of these highs, Bitcoin of course formed these hidden bearish divergence, and still Bitcoin moved up from off that point, right? So here was also, I do remember this day, a very big turning point. People were extremely afraid, but in the end of the day, it still came up. So yeah, we just have to take it with a grain of salt in this case. So yeah, we're of course clearly seeing it. So let's see how it's going to be playing out here. But more importantly, I personally think there could be, of course, such kind of possibility that Bitcoin is just going to go even longer sideways here. But we just have to wait. And you know, the thing that's very frustrating to see is right now that the S&P 500 is being so strong and bullish. And the reason why I've been expecting, why I've been live, first of all, is because the S&P 500 was showing so much strength. And I thought Bitcoin was going to create that volatility, right? So pretty interesting. And as well, still the DXY is coming down even further, what also makes it very interesting to look at right now, right? DXY is even losing more strength here, but Bitcoin is not really benefiting from it right now. Luna killed me hard. I mean, yeah, you're probably not the only one in the chat, and I mean, I can already guarantee you, you were not the only one. I can't really complain because for me, compared to all these other people, I lost almost nothing because I had a very small portion of my portfolio holding in Luna. I did got some airdrop tokens. I right away dripped them. But then let me actually look at Luna 2.0, how it's performing, guys. I've been pretty shitting on Luna 2.0. I don't really am a big fan of it. Is it trading? It's still trading on $7. I think actually, it's had a little bit of a run up here towards the upside actually. So yeah, it has been actually pretty terrible for the ones that bought it on $30. You are down once again 70%. So I feel very terrible for you. From that $11 high, it came down massively basically, and it just experienced a little bit of a pump here. So in the end of the day, I don't really think it's going to do much more special things here. Luna, no words. Yeah, I mean, let me know, guys. Who was holding here Luna in the chat? Let me know. Who was actually holding Luna in the... Let me know in the chat. Bro, saving... Oh, yeah. I mean, it's very terrible if you were saving, you use Terra. And you got out on 79 cents. And in the end of the day, guys, I mean... I can't blame anyone who lost money with it. But in the end of the day, if I at least did more research myself, I didn't lost a lot of money because I didn't went all in on Luna whatsoever. Also, mainly because I did a little bit of my research and I thought, okay, this is not a project I would like to get involved in. Then it increased very significantly in price action. And I thought, okay, no, I'm not interested anymore. And then, of course, out of nowhere, it came down. And in hindsight, it seemed to be very obvious again, right? Also, a coin that is going to crash to zero, guys, is this one. I called it right now. So you guys have to notice. GMT. This is a coin that is going to go to zero. This coin is going to literally go to zero. I can guarantee you. GMT, shitty project. Shitty project. I mean, of course, it's apparently not that shit because people are actually buying it. By the way, oh, Bitcoin. Look at this. Sexy move here for Bitcoin. But yeah, GMT, why do I think it's a Ponzi scheme? You buy some, you add value in the market, and the market value is getting brought out here due to people walking. And of course, at the point that there's not enough capital flowing back in towards GMT, it's going to flop. So please be very careful. Don't hold GMT as a long-term investment, because I apparently hear people talking about GMT being a very good long-term investment. But firstly, I have to say to you guys out there that I strongly disagree that GMT is not a good long-term investment. So yeah, GMT is in my opinion just a Ponzi, and I personally think it is going to burst if Bitcoin is going to make another move down. If Bitcoin makes another move up, I think it will survive another few days, another few months maybe, potentially. 600k market cap is also not that big here, but I mean, it is P73, so it is still particular big here. It is of course also significantly it came down again here, like you can clearly see. Also look at this. Is there inflation? Is there a lot of inflation in this token? So let me see. 700. 500. There is a little bit of inflation. Inflation is not all too bad here, but it's just a Ponzi. Do you follow Altcoin? No, it doesn't also sound like a shit coin, actually. Yeah, I mean, this is a shit coin. No, I don't follow this coin. Yeah, this is a pump and dump coin probably, so no. This is not a coin I like to be investing in. Just look already at the growth rate. It's terrible. So no, nothing to look at. On the 5-minute time frame here on the here on the flip side on Bitcoin, you can see the 5-minute diamond pattern is right now breaking bullish. This is pretty interesting to see. We're once again retesting the highs here on the market. So far, yeah, the S&P 500 is still making its ways up here. That's really the catalyst we're currently looking at. But Bitcoin is trading, of course, at this key resistance range here. So we're still waiting to get this this thing out here. Step and foot. No, guys, I'm not trying to spread foot here. I'm just trying to be protecting everyone who also lost money with Luna. Because if you're going to do your research on that coin GMT Steppen, yeah, you're probably going to be finding it the same out as me. First of all, 10% circulating supply. There's going to be so much inflation still in the coming years for that coin. First of all, that's absolutely terrible. I don't want to be holding a token that for the long term that right now has only 10% of its circulating supply in circulation right now. So be careful for that one. Steppen, I know how it works, and I know how Ponzi schemes are made. I've been too long in the space, and if you don't know how a Ponzi is getting built here, make sure to do your research on this coin, because this is the coin that perfectly shows you how Ponzi is made. But yeah, let's see how it will be playing out in the future. Maybe it's going to be performing extremely well. Then I miss out, and then I don't care because I invest my money rather what is a little bit more safe and where I have less risk on losing everything. I'm not really huge anymore in taking huge risk anymore. I'm not really a big fan of that anymore. Boom, boom, boom. Thoughts on Ape. I also think Ape is also such kind of an overhyped project, and I mean, I've already not been a big fan of NFTs. I think I mean, Bored Apes are pretty cool here. Probably this coin is going to come up as well again. But do remember that the Bored Ape holders are dropping on you because they got the token. And yeah, of course, everyone that can't afford a Bored Ape is probably buying ApeCoin because they think it's cool. Because they want to be they want to be a part of the community or something, you know. Also, another coin I am a huge fan of. Will be also a lot of still inflation be here, and of course this money is probably going to get used to pay those parties. So you're actually, if you're holding this coin, you're paying for the luxury shit they get by holding a Bored Ape. So if you're not holding a Bored Ape, I wouldn't be buying ApeCoin. If you hold a Bored Ape, yeah, you can definitely buy some ApeCoin. But still, yeah, should I really buy this for the long term to make good profits on the long term? There are probably some profits going to roll out from this, but this, once again, not a good business model to invest in. This is like many people in the space just invest in stupid things because they think, oh, it's going to be making good returns. But if you actually invest with your brain, you could be making a ton of money in this market right now. And that's why I say to you guys, I'm looking to only a handful of projects. Of course, Bitcoin, Ethereum, but I'm discounting them in this case. It's BNB. Why? Is because high cash flows, they're burning, and also the BNB chart is actually looking very strong against Bitcoin, right? So this BNB against Bitcoin is forming a symmetrical triangle over here. This is going to be having an extreme breakout, and it's holding up so well against Bitcoin. All the altcoins, please don't spam in the chat. All the altcoins are performing shit. And yeah, this coin is actually doing still pretty well here. So thank you so much, Amir. I was already trying to be blocking him. Yeah, a lot of altcoins are not holding up that well here, but like you can see, BNB compared to Bitcoin is doing extremely well. So yeah, only a handful of altcoins I'm currently looking at. Solana, definitely not an altcoin to be buying right now, in my opinion. Cardano is definitely worth the risk to reward, actually. I don't think it's all too bad. Could definitely come down even more, guys. Don't quote me on this one, but I personally think that Cardano can still come down to 35, 40 cents, right? So personally think it's a good hold for the coming 2 to 3 years, Cardano. That's why I'm still having it on my list. And also looking at coins, Polygon is probably going to perform very well still. Then a lot of these coins I'm not looking to invest in, right? Monero, I don't think it's going to do good eventually. Why? Is because privacy coins are probably not going to be that popular in the future because everything is going to get regulated, right? And the coins with regulation like Bitcoin are probably going to perform way better. FTX token, also same like BNB. They have very high cash flow, and FTX is very big in the US, especially, guys. It's really picking up their game here. So FTX, also a coin, high cash flow, good burning mechanisms. It's basically investing in the company itself, right? Where you can buy Coinbase shares on the stock market, you can buy FTX tokens here, just like BNB, right? And BNB also got like the largest developer team out there, and they got so many jobs out there, guys. So that's pretty crazy. Chainlink, also Oracle Network, connecting all the other cryptocurrencies, already proving itself to be a very, very good coin to be investing in here. It is one of my top picks to be buying right now. I have, like I told you, only a handful of altcoins I'm buying in towards, and I do know in the bull market, many altcoins are going to be exploding. But for me right now, I am not looking to be buying in all kinds of shit yet. That is a thing in a different stage of the market. I'm not in the stage of the market. We are not at the stage of the market yet where you can just buy everything and make a bunch of profit with it. No, we are not in that stage. So you only buy a handful of altcoins that are actually performing good and that have actually good fundamentals, just like VeChain, HBAR. And then we're already coming towards the shit again. So those are the coins that I'm really looking at here. I just told you guys them. I personally think that those are also the coins that are going to stick around for very long in the market. And those are also the coins that are not going to disappear. That's important. First of all, I want to be saying that Chainlink is actually a pretty, it's a good project. It's basically creating the pay nodes on the network within the system for a lot of other cryptocurrency projects. But more importantly, I think also the Chainlink is pretty oversold. And it's worth the risk to reward because they are bringing value towards the network, the cryptocurrency network. And that's why I like to invest in value, right? BNB will hit 10K before Ether. I don't know. But I do think that there is a very high upside potential for BNB. BNB market cap of 50 billion in Ethereum. I mean, if BNB is going to overtake Ethereum, it only has to do a 4x from now on. And that means $1,200. So you can't really directly compare them to each other in terms of the exact price. So I don't really think that BNB is going to hit 10K earlier than Ethereum, because Ethereum is just more likely to hit 10K earlier because the market cap has to be lower. So I personally think, can BNB overtake Ethereum? Guys, if there's going to be an altcoin that's going to overtake Ethereum, it's going to be definitely BNB. That is going to be the one. There's not going to be Solana, it's not going to be Cardano. Just look at how good BNB has been holding up here to Bitcoin, to Ethereum, to all these other assets. It's going to be BNB. So please don't spam in the chat, because if you're spamming in the chat, I'm not going to answer your question. So we're still waiting. Still waiting. Still waiting. Look at the S&P. This is the S&P we're currently looking at. So, finally someone who sees strength. Yeah, I mean, it's very, very obvious. It's high cash flow models that are behind BNB. So, pretty clear. What about Bit from Buy? I think Bit is actually also a pretty good investment, but purely on the reason because there are going to be a lot of utility coming towards that coin. What I heard from Ben, like the CEO of Bybit, he told me a few things from Bit, and I actually don't know if I am allowed to say that or something, but I do know there's like a debit card coming up, and you can get like very good things additional if you're staking or holding BitDAO. So going to be a lot of token utility getting added towards that token. So I actually think it's going to be performing very well. Have you got any VPAD? Yeah, I do definitely have some VPAD. But once again, I only think that VPAD is going to perform very good if we're in bullish markets where a lot of altcoins are performing very well, because VPAD is only going to perform well if there are going to be altcoins performing well, you know? So yeah, guys, I will be wrapping up the stream right now. There's not a lot of interesting development right now happening. In case we are going to see interesting development, I will be jumping back live with you guys out there.